Here comes the third-party recruitment agency. You might be wondering, just what does a third-party recruiter bring to the table that an internal recruiter or HR team couldn't? Hey, and welcome back. If you're new here, great to meet you. My name is Preston and I'm a professional recruiter here to help answer any and all of your questions about recruiting and the job hunting experience. In my most recent videos, I've been talking a little bit about the growth of the recruiting industry and why there has never been a better time to get into recruiting, especially considering the precarious state of the economy and conversely the booming job market. More and more companies are relying on recruiters to help fill open positions, especially ones that had to be vacated due to the pandemic. So today, I'm going to continue to advocate for the recruiters in 2022, but I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about why organizations should consider working with the recruitment agency to help with their hiring needs. But before we get started, as always, remember to like this video, subscribe for more. It's completely free and means so much. The recruiting industry has existed for many years, but only recently have we seen it grow and flourish in ways it hasn't before. Technology has provided us with countless new ways of locating and connecting with potential candidates, and the need for recruiters with specialized knowledge of these systems has grown. Traditionally, companies have relied on their HR department or salaried in-house recruiters to help achieve their hiring goals. Larger corporations have the budget to maintain entire teams of recruiters to help source candidates and develop a hiring pipeline. But startups and local businesses usually don't have the time or funding to keep a full-time recruiter on their team, and their HR departments have other responsibilities to attend to as well. Additionally, some bigger organizations have realized it may not be necessary to expend resources to maintain a dedicated recruiting team. So here comes the third-party recruitment agency. It should probably go without saying at this point that third-party recruiters help companies place qualified candidates in vacant roles. But that's just a simple, low-level description of what a recruiter actually does. It doesn't demonstrate the value a good recruiter brings to an organization, large or small. You might be wondering, just what does a third-party recruiter bring to the table that an internal recruiter or HR team couldn't? In order to understand, let's develop a little theoretical situation, the cons of in-house recruiting. I find that it's easiest to demonstrate the value of third-party recruiting agency by emphasizing the cons of attempting to recruit internally. So let's start with a small business or a startup. Say one is looking to start the hiring process. They consider all the different ways of locating candidates, social media, job boards, job aggregators, employment websites, and much more, and think it should be easy to do it themselves. They can save money by relying on current employees to perform the necessary tasks as well. They're starting from scratch, so after determining what positions they need to fill, they have to decide how and where to begin their search. Assuming they have little to no knowledge of the hiring process, they will have to spend time researching their options. What platforms should they use and how many? How and when should they publicize the positions? Should they reach out to candidates themselves or let the candidates come to them? Once they've decided on what platforms to use to source candidates, they need a way to keep track of them. Keeping track of candidates across multiple platforms can quickly become overwhelming. So they might consider the use of an applicant tracking system or even ATS, or maybe even a customer relationship management software known as CRM. These programs can be expensive and often come with a learning curve. After gathering a decent list of candidates, they'll have to screen each one of them in order to determine if they're worth looking into. This requires a specialized knowledge of the role's skills and qualifications. Additionally, it can take a significant amount of time to comb through resumes, CVs, or even cover letters. Without experience in this area, they'll risk putting through candidates that are unqualified for the role. Once they have a solid list of candidates, they'll have to interview them and continue to track their progress through the entire hiring process. If the interviewer is inexperienced, they may have a hard time judging whether or not a candidate is appropriate for the role. Once they've decided on the candidate, they must present an offer to them. This often involves negotiating, as the candidate may be fielding offers from several other companies at the same time. This is one of the riskiest parts of the process, because without sufficient market knowledge, they will have a hard time coming up with a competitive and lucrative offer. The chances of losing the candidate to another organization are high, and say they make it all the way through this process and end up hiring the candidate. The chance it still exists that they were not properly vetted and may not be qualified for the role. At best, they may need to train the candidate, which can take some time and cost money. At worst, they'll have to let the candidate go and start the process all over again. All of this to say, it's certainly possible to conduct the hiring process entirely internally, but without the resources and knowledge of a dedicated third-party recruiter, you risk wasting serious time and money. Additionally, if you're relying on your existing employees or HR department to conduct the hiring process, they will be unable to focus on their regular jobs and business performance could likely suffer. pros of a recruiting agency. Now let's consider all the ways a third-party recruiting agency can help remedy these issues and help save time and money with their knowledge and expertise and specialization. Hiring and market knowledge. One of the biggest benefits of working with a dedicated third-party recruiting agency is their extensive knowledge of the labor market, both in general and in their chosen niche or industry. They know what jobs are currently available, their salary rates, benefits, expectations, qualifications, skills, and more. They can leverage this knowledge to help prepare offers for employees that are lucrative and competitive. Additionally, they have extensive experience with making job posts, reviewing resumes, CVs, and cover letters, performing interviews, managing candidates, maintaining contacts, and so much more. A recruiting agency is there to lend you their specialty knowledge about recruiting and utilize their own resources, so existing employees can continue to work on their day-to-day tasks without being interrupted by the hiring process. Specialist knowledge. There are plenty of generalist recruiters out there who provide their services to a wide variety of industries. However, many recruiters have worked in specialized industries and therefore have insider knowledge they can use alongside their extensive experience with the hiring process. So if you're worried that a third-party recruiter may not have the specialized knowledge in order to properly screen the appropriate candidates, rest assured. Specialized recruiters leverage their own experience in the field to judge if a candidate is truly qualified for a role. Hire quality candidates. Another huge benefit to working with a third-party recruiter is immediate access to a wide range of high-quality candidates. When you start the hiring process from scratch, you must build up a list of candidates and screen them individually to ensure they're qualified for the role. Conversely, established recruiters will already have a database of qualified candidates that they have pre-screened and referenced, significantly cutting down on the time it takes to conduct the search. If the recruiter has to do additional searching, their knowledge of various job boards or social media platforms will go a long way in separating the low-quality candidates from the best ones. Recruiters are also talented at engaging passive talent, which can be especially valuable for higher levels or specialized roles. Save time and money. A third-party recruiting agency does much more than just match candidates with their clients. The resources and knowledge that they bring to the table significantly speeds up the hiring process, thereby saving money. Additionally, recruiters typically have access to expensive ATS and CRM software to help manage and maintain relationships with candidates. They will also have access to and knowledge of various job boards and employment websites to help widen the search. Meanwhile, the rest of the company can focus on their own goals without having to worry about switching gears into an area they are unfamiliar with. In short, bringing on a third-party recruiter helps save time and a significant amount of money in the long run. Because while recruiters aren't always cheap, you aren't paying them a regular salary or providing benefits like you would an in-house recruiter. Additionally, it can be expensive to source and train candidates. A recruiter guarantees satisfactory results the first time, so you don't run the risk of hiring a bad candidate and having to start over. I hope this video was helpful in showing the value that recruiters bring to the table. I highly recommend working with one. Do you have anything else to add to the conversation? I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you leave a comment down below. If you like this video, want to see more like it, or even give a fellow recruiter a thumbs up, please feel free to like, subscribe, and click the bell. Feel free to also follow me at Preston_Park as I try my best to also post daily. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.